All right, and we're live, and it's Stevie Bullets, another podcast, my friends, and I got my guy from Detroit, Detroit legend, Bolo. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. You seem to be pretty big in the underworld, and like I said, I reached out to you because I felt you, and we're different cities and stuff like that, but I like the way you carry yourself, and I know you definitely have a gangster story. So go ahead, introduce yourself, my man.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Bolo. I'm from Detroit originally, but I also mess with Chicago and New York a lot. Um, I believe in having a strong code of honor, which is lacking nowadays. It appears to be a lot of frauds online, a lot of real tough guys, keyboard warriors, and so forth. I'm really not about any of that. But, I do want all the smoke from all of you, keyboard warriors and tough guys. Just pull up. You know what I mean? I'll give you an Addy, and we could do it like they do in Stevie City. Like they say, pull up, drop your Addy, pop out.
Yep,
And you know what?
exactly.
Yeah, these guys aren't popping out, bro. Yeah,
No,
especially when
I've had,
Go ahead, brother.
but no. So I haven't had too much backlash. I had one person that tried to call me out and stuff, which was a female. I'll give her a shout out, Amy Sanchez. So, according to her, I was nobody and I never did shit and I got my ass whooped by the Latin counts. But, I'm going to tell everybody publicly, anybody that knows me from the neighborhood knows exactly what I was about. Wasn't never a kingpin and stuff like that, but I definitely, handled some business and it got me to where I am now. So I can proudly say I own two vehicles. I have nice cars. I have a house, three children, full time job. I'm a Teamster. So I have a lot to be proud of. And for somebody to tell me that I was nobody, just, somebody that's out there hating, other than that, my whole neighborhood, everybody in my neighborhood that grew up with me, they support me. I get tons of support. Uh, I definitely lived through a lot of stuff. I've never told on anybody in my neighborhood, so there's no bad rap there and stuff like that. I did do drugs, but a lot of things that I did when I was younger, I did some terrible things. I'm not going to brag about the things that I did, but I've shot people and I've definitely done some bad stuff and it affected me mentally. But today, I don't use drugs. I don't even drink. I have a very clear mind. Like I said, I got out of prison 10 years ago. And
Right.
ever since then, and then I just started doing like these podcasts and documentary, just, try to make some legit money and at the same time, debunk like you see a lot of these guys come out and they're fake and phony. And then you also got a lot of guys that are out there that they're rats and stuff. There's no honor in being a rat. I don't have anything to do with people that are stool pigeons and rats because, I
Right.
believe once you get into the streets and that you want to be part of that life, then you got to take the consequences. If you got to go to prison, I've been to prison 3 times. I'm not proud of that, but you know, it's just the way things happen, and you got it. It's just when it comes time to that for that time, you have to sit down and do your time. You just do it with honor and keep your mouth shut. And other than that, everything's been going good. Like I said, I'm exactly who I am. Obviously, I'm doing a documentary, so there's something there. You know, I
Yeah.
don't put my friends out there, the guys that got me to where I am, or how I got my street credit. Obviously, I have a lot of good people behind my back, and at the same time, it's I had my respect in the streets. I kept it gangster. I kept it 100. I didn't sell myself out and stuff. And
Yeah, you
I don't
could
know.
tell.
Yeah, yeah, I've never, like I said, I've never got my ass whooped in the street, left bloody in the street. I've lost a few fights, but I fought a lot. I've had a lot of
Yeah.
fights, and
Yeah, growing
anybody,
up in Chicago, I'm sure you have. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah, that's a definite because that's exactly what made me who I am today was all those ass whoopings that I did get. I learned, and believe me, I've had a ton of fights. I was a brawler. I was always fighting and stuff. Like I said, I wasn't always about the pistol, but I have shot people. Definitely,
Right.
people. It's not like I'm out here bragging, but I did. And I've handled my business, and now that I kept my mouth shut, and I've earned my respect in the streets from everybody, even from the police. Um, I've always kept things in the neighborhood sacred, but I've also been like honest and truthful about it at the same time because I don't believe in presenting myself phony. But that's why I hook up with. I got people all across the country that have been in similar situations. I got a guy in Arizona, all over, and they're basically doing the same thing. Trying to turn it around a little bit because you see so much bullshit nowadays with the shooting, and I started getting into the drill rappers and like Old Black. I'm really into the music.
Right, right.
And I'm down with all that. And then I seen your stuff with the bare knuckle fighting. I got a lot of respect for guys like you that just go hands on. And anybody that has a problem, I have no problem confronting them face to face. It's the people that hide behind the keyboards and have something to say behind phony profiles and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying I'm going to go after somebody and attack them or shoot them or nothing like that. But if you got something to say, but I would have more respect for Amy Sanchez if she could come to my face and tell me face to face, and because those things that you're saying aren't true, first of all, and obviously, this is one of my trolls, one of very few that I've had, and
is she a Latin queen?
No,
is she a Latin queen?
No, she ran with the Latin count supposedly. I've never seen this girl, but it doesn't matter. She tried to write the producers and stuff, and obviously the producers spoke to hundreds of people. So it's not like whatever I'm telling them, they know my story. They're the ones that that came to me with everything. So it wasn't like there's nothing that I hide about my life or what I did. I put it all out there, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm still in the same neighborhood. I still walk the streets. I don't have anybody come up to me and talk shit,
I respect that.
Yeah, no. So, as far as like these guys whooping my ass and stuff, I gladly welcome somebody to come to me and try to whoop my ass now.
Exactly.
Hasn't happened in a long time. I'm a little bit older, but I can still throw the guns a little bit, just a little bit. Though,
Right.
But I can tell you one thing: I don't have people coming talking trash. I walk around the neighborhood with my head high, and despite all that, these people actually, it's a good thing because everybody's gonna have a different view on the way you are and present yourself. Of course, there's always haters, jealousy,
the haters and the jealousy.
Yeah, but I'm doing pretty good. Financially, I'm doing good. Like I said, I got nice stuff. I live a good life. I don't have anything.
Yeah, I've seen all your nice stuff. You're doing real good, definitely, and you're on the right path. I really got a lot of respect for that, especially coming from where you've come from and everything. That's hard to do because there's so much temptation all around you, and you've kept it on the straight and narrow, and you're all about positivity, and you could tell you're a real guy, man. Like they say, real recognized real.
Yeah. So you're kind of notorious in the underworld and stuff, and that's kind of how we linked up and stuff. But so you could, I don't know, talk about some stuff that you're about. I seen your stuff on YouTube, fighting that guy bare knuckles 1-on-1. That's great. I like that kind of content because you're exactly who you say you are, and
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because there used to be like 4 or 5 videos up there, and they mysteriously got taken down over the years. And I find that ironic because you got videos of people getting their wig pushed back with Glocks, but yet a little, bare knuckle fun, and they're taking them down due to excessive violence. It's just things are backwards. Like, it's just really weird. Very strange.
It is. So what's
very, very strange.
What's your history as far as penitentiary, prison, and you've done some time.
Unfortunately, I was okay. My first case, I started off really young in the life or whatever. I'm from the East Side, the real East Side, 48205.
And what do they call it? The red zone.
Yeah, the red zone, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
funny you said
yeah,
that.
yeah. Because
Uh,
over here, the red zone used to be the Latin counts.
Oh, okay, okay, very interesting. Yeah, the red zone over here is between 8 Mile and Gratiot to 6 Mile and Gratiot, 6 Mile and Gratiot to 6 Mile and Kelly, up to 8 Mile and Kelly. And that square, I think it's like 5 or 6 square miles, has the highest homicide rate in the whole city. A lot of people don't know that. It's the ninth precinct, now called the Eastern District or whatever. And recently, a lot of guys I grew up with and stuff, used to box with and stuff, they were a family called the 7 Mile Bloods organization, and they were like a family, and they were done very wrong. There's a case, I believe, in the paper, and it's called Death by Instagram. But to make a long story short, I've always been in the law and stuff like that, like is because I was away for my first bit, 13 years, 6 months, and 5 days. We'll get to that in a second. And I was always like studying law as much as I could and stuff like that, keeping up on the law. But even keep up on the law nowadays since I've been out for 56, 57 days. I still keep up on the law, and I was reading the case, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Basically, in a nutshell, the evidence they have is um, a snitch who has been caught in numerous lies, um, and they have cell phone tower records that were 2 miles away from a homicide that took place. And that's pretty much the extent of their case. And the lady that witnessed this as a double homicide, she said she could not positively ID any of the people involved. It was a ongoing beef. It was SMB versus Cheddar Grove and so forth. At one point in time, SMB were putting in so much work. That's my neighborhood, 48205 guys. That four crews ganged up together in order to, feel comfortable enough to go to war with them. And
Yeah,
it's just the feds did them real dirty. In my opinion, there should be physical evidence, there should be DNA, this and that. It shouldn't be acceptable having a rat saying, well, yeah, I heard B Man did this. I heard Cocaine Sonny did this. By the way, free B Man, free Cocaine Sonny, free all them boys because they sure got done real grimy, real grimy. It's just a real shame. I mean, they gave Sonny life based on cell phone tower records. Nobody had phones in their own name, and they based the whole case on text messages and cell phone towers. And get this, the text messages were in slang/code, like they had their own language, right? So you get this
yeah,
square white guy comes up on the stand, and he calls himself an expert in this type of language. He's saying this means this means that. How the hell do you know what means what? Just like a case recently with the East Point Six, they're holding in Macomb County Jail six people, six people based on one text message that says the following: we're going to take care of that business and finesse those straps. Okay? That could mean anything. Straps. That
right.
could be sexual. That could be a sexual thing. That could be
Yeah,
strap
yeah,
on. I mean,
yeah.
how
That's
are you who are you to say what was in that guy's mind? And furthermore, what bothers me about it is all the cell phones were in alias names, like non-existent names, and they've been holding these poor people like with ridiculous bonds for over a year now on all first-degree
it's
murder
crazy.
counts. Yeah, it's
It's crazy.
ridiculous the weak evidence that the feds need in order to tragically destroy someone's life.
Yeah, and they'll do it too. They'll do it for sure. A lot of these cops and a lot of these federales, they don't always play by the book. I've dealt with a lot of dirty cops. Um,
Yeah,
I lost one of my friends in 2000. He was shot and killed unarmed. So,
sorry to hear
shit. Yeah, it's just part of the game. Part of the life that you live, and you see a lot of stuff that's not right, and you know, it's good to point some of that stuff out because that stuff needs to end. You see a lot of that stuff. They abuse their powers and stuff and positions, and like I know Detroit's a lot like Chicago. You got guys like
you.
that guy White, like that guy White Boy Rick. I seen that.
Oh yeah,
He was from the Detroit. I got no respect for guys like that. And
right.
like I said, he told on everybody, and they made a movie out of it, and
Yeah,
proclaimed
yeah,
him to be like he was some type of hero and stuff, and and,
yeah.
and he
Oh,
was a
really?
complete opposite. Yeah, you got a little background about the guy because you're from the
Oh, yeah.
same city.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and let
Whoa,
people know.
Ricky, why don't you come out of the closet and let people know you like going both ways? No disrespect to, the LBGQ community, but keep it real. There's no doubt he likes boys. That's a fact. He was getting his knees dirty in almost every penitentiary he went to. That's a fact. That's it. Anyone that knows. And but he
What's
puts
his real name
himself
again? What's his real name?
um
I forget what.
Rick Wershey. Rick Wershey.
Rick
Yeah, Rick
Worship.
Wershey
Rick
Jr. His
Worship.
dad was a good
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, his dad was a real solid guy, man. His dad actually threatened a federal agent when he was going to court. He said, "You put my son, what you did to him, you cocksucker. I hope you sleep good at night because I know where you live." He actually threatened a federal agent and had to do a little time off that. He meant it too. Yeah, Dick was good with silencers, real good with guns. He was ahead of the game with the AKs, ARs, everything, bro. He was his father was really about that. But what's interesting about Rick, a lot of people don't realize, and he probably realized it himself. I don't wish prison on nobody, okay? But if he wouldn't have done that time, it was a tremendous amount of time, he wouldn't be with us today. He knows it because Rockin' Reg,
Oh yeah.
no doubt, would have pushed his wig back. They Nate Boone Craft was at the light at French Road and Gratiot, I believe, and this is a well-known story, just through the East Side or whatever. And they were in a van, and they were going to get him at the light. Rick sensed it, and they went through the red light, but he almost got it then. But trust and believe, if he would have beat his case and been on the street and stayed in Detroit, he would no longer be with us. There's no fact about
Oh,
it. Rockin' Reg is really about that action. He's a true professional. I mean, it's like, yeah, in a way, I hate to say this, but he was saved by going to prison. And like I said, I only see nobody go to prison. But yeah, he definitely would no longer be with us. Definitely would no
no.
longer be with us. I
Yeah.
hear
So it
he's
was based.
taking. Say it again, brother. Say it again, brother.
No. Okay, there you are. No, go ahead.
I lost you for a second. Yeah. Oh, apparently nowadays he is with some very wealthy lady. I think her name's Lynn McDonald or something. Her father owns a prestigious car dealership or something, and it's ironic because Rick, for as long as you know him, he always preferred dark meat. You know what I mean? He was always preferred dark meat. He got, mixed kids, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, he comes out, and now he's with a pure white girl. It just makes you wonder. And another thing, I really had no respect for him because he was a coward. And what I mean by that is, anytime he would go to Greektown, this is no well known, okay? He had some nice jewelry, okay? But he knew he wasn't the type of guy that could go in Greektown and wear his jewelry. It would get jacked. No ifs, ands, or buts. So anytime he would go to Greektown back in the day before he caught his case, he would hire 10 bodyguards from Powerhouse Gym to guard him. He'd pay him
Yeah.
like 100 or 200 a piece. And, I don't respect that, man. I just
No,
don't
no.
respect that.
And nowadays he's
You know?
working here in Chicago as a consultant for a prestigious law firm. I rather not name, but yeah, he's it's just I was a little sickened by it because I seen the guy and I knew he was nothing but a rat and stuff. And you're from the same area, so like guys like that I have no respect for. I have no respect for rats and people that sell out, after they get involved.
Right.
And for the most part, I'm like you. I try to promote stuff. I, put down the guns, knuckle up type stuff. So
Right.
that's what I'm basically trying to do. To I'm doing these podcasts to open up avenues for guys like you and me that
Right.
hopefully somebody will take notice of it. Direct us in the right place. Opportunities, I get them all the time. Like I said, I'm doing a documentary. And then I got a book, also with a true crime author named Chip McGregor. So I got a lot of different. I got a lot of options now. I've been reaching out to a couple of my guys that that been down, that been in the penitentiary, that been through, and like I said, guys like you, they said they considered you in social media a drug kingpin at one time. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, I was labeled that. It created a lot of heat and so forth. A lot of heat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But it's
But
interesting. We'll get to that in a second. But getting back to Rick, there's something I wanted to say. I thought it was so funny. He says he goes back to the old neighborhood, right? He was on camera, and he picked a specific neighborhood by where his old video shop was. But I noticed he didn't go on Hampshire, where he grew up at, Hampshire and Dickerson, because them young boys out there aren't playing. They have no
right,
respect for him. They would pushed his wig back or at least beat the brakes off him because he put a lot of their relatives in prison for many years because the East Side's real close knit. Everyone's related to everybody, especially like in the 48205. Then you got the Harper Boys. It's like real close knit. And there's a big difference between the East Side and the West Side. People don't want to
right.
believe it, but there is.
Same here in Chicago. You got the West Side, South Side. South Side is where you hear about the O Block. We'll talk about them in a minute because that's a big thing here in Chicago. You got these drill rappers, and they're out there warring in the streets, and they're killing each other, man. And I'm talking, these guys are making money.
Yeah,
but they're playing. They're definitely
yeah.
playing.
It's ironic about the drill rap because it's like basically a lot of people don't realize it. They are true gangsters. Okay, they're true gangsters that are rapping as a hobby, not the other way around. Like when you had rappers that were telling fake stories back in the day. These guys, these young boys are really doing what they're rapping about.
Right.
They're
I
really
feel
putting
that.
in the work. Yeah,
Yeah.
really putting in the
Yeah.
work. I mean, they said, like, RIP to King Von, they said he had like 12, 15 bodies, okay, confirmed, and he was a suspect in another 20. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
saying that because he's passed, you know what I mean? And that was
Right.
real foul how they did him in Atlanta. And fuck you, Quando Rondo. You're a little bitch. And your boy, little Tim, shot him in the back. That's some real bitch ass shit, Vaughn comes out fighting. knuckles up, beating the brakes off Rondo, and little bitch ass Tim fucking shoots him in his back like a little bitch that he is. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Hassan Campbell says, "Oh, that's what he was supposed to do." No, that's not what he was supposed to do. That really pissed me the fuck off because I really liked King Von's music, and he was a true warrior. Comes up knuckling up, and his little fucking midget, 5'6" gremlin looking motherfucker comes and shoots him in his back like the bitch that he is.
Yeah, there's some
Oh,
cowards.
that just rubbed me the wrong way. Excuse my language. That just rubbed me the wrong fucking way, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like you. Certain things just hit me, and when I see it, I'm like you. I gotta express myself about certain issues and stuff. And
Another thing that was totally disgusting, is how uh, the legend, Big Clout, FBG Duck, laid bleeding out in the Gold Coast on the fucking cement while the cops did not give him any type of medical assistance, and they were intimidating the EMTs across the street. And they're bitches too for allowing for allowing the cops to intimidate them from doing their job. You take an
yeah,
oath, you do a job, you do it. They let that poor man bleed out for 20 minutes if you've seen the video. He could have been saved. Easy. Easy.
yeah,
They killed him by
yeah,
negligence. They
yeah.
killed him by negligence.
Yeah, and that's all the time here in Chicago, and unfortunately, the police, there's a lot of good cops, but then there's too many bad cops. That's basically how it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even if the cops were bad, okay, say they were some cocksuckers, I have no respect for the EMTs that didn't get out of their fucking ambulance. Say, no, 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 you're not going to prevent us from doing our job. Have some balls. This is our job. You can't prevent us from giving this man medical assistance. You know what I mean?
yeah, I've experienced the same thing myself. My
Yeah, you had
mother's,
mentioned that. That's terrible because they seen
yeah,
your tattoos and they just automatically assume something.
yeah, they said
Tell
it in
that
front.
story. Tell that story, Stevie. Tell that story.
So a lot of people know about my story about me getting into a pretty bad car wreck. About 7 years ago, I was involved in a car wreck. Texting driving under the influence, and I crashed. My vehicle and almost died. So I'm in the hospital at Good Samaritan Hospital, and my mother, unfortunately, she's not here no more. But she's standing
Sorry to
next to
hear
the
that.
nurse. Yeah, thank you. And my mother's sitting in the emergency room. I'm about to die. And one of the doctors or nurses had referred, me being a gang member, and they seen the tattoo. And my mother, she doesn't normally cuss or nothing, but my wife was right there. She experienced it, and just for my mother to hear that stuff and the way they talked about me, made me feel a certain type of way, and that's pretty much same thing with the police, just because of the experiences I've had with them, a lot of bad, experiences with them, and of course my friend being killed, stuff like that affected me. And for the most part I try to stay positive, because I
Right.
have kids and stuff, but it's real hard. And I'm that's stuff that I'm working on, because I'm 43. I'm not trying to be in the streets like I used to be, you know
Right.
and and I'm just trying to go another direction. I'm not going to sit up here and talk to kids and tell them not to do shit. That's not what I'm
Right.
looking for. I just, like I
Yeah.
said, I just network with different people, promote music, promote, different people, guys like you, try to get us, some type of, opportunities for us to go, do something with our stories, because like you, me, a lot of other guys that been through this stuff and lived that life. And, you know, there's so many opportunities that are presented nowadays that I've been just grabbing whatever I can. I branded my own self, promote my own stuff, and it's taken me pretty far. Most people don't even get the experience to even be in front of a camera. And nowadays, I might not be a huge movie star, I might not even make it anywhere, but like just to get this opportunity I was on Reels Television, which was aired. I played a hitman, Frank Swayze, and see like stuff like that. I was perfect for that role, uh,
Right, right. It came
you know,
natural because
yeah,
your
it came natural,
surroundings, environment.
right? And I'm not saying I'm a hitman or nothing, but like,
Right, right.
I got experience with the gun, and they said, hey, you want to play the hitman, and I'm like, sure. And it's just small roles, and most people will never get that opportunity. So like see, just that alone, I've made it this far that that people that did talk shit about me, you can't say nothing. They're not doing a documentary on them, let alone writing a book and stuff. And if that's all it goes, that's fine with me. I'm content with what I got. So if I don't make it after this, I'm good with it. My life's still gonna go
Right.
on. I take my kids and my wife on vacations all over the country. So I live good. Life is good for me. I got a strong backing, guys from the streets, guys that are legit, you know, because like I said, I keep it real, keep it 100. Uh, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and that's just how you got to do it these days, and it's, even the guys that are in the streets, we still got, respect for each other because, I don't knock somebody because that's what the life they want to live, you want to live that life. It's good for you, you just take the punches when they come and, don't sell nobody
Right,
out. Telling, guys like that, it's just, there's no honor in that, and
right. It's so
it's,
common and prevalent nowadays. It's just crazy. It's almost like a trend. It's almost like it's acceptable and people make excuses for that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, look
telling
at
them,
how, yeah, look at how, for example, how long it took Alpo to get his wig pushed back. He was in Harlem running around freely and people
yeah,
were accepting him. That
and
just
then,
shows how soft Harlem has got.
yeah, yeah, and he was a rat, and then you got Sammy
A
the Bull,
dirty rat too. He
you
was
know,
a dirty rat. How he did Rich Porter and that was just dirty, man.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot of dirt balls, that don't even deserve the respect, and that's the other thing, you see these guys making these movies and documentaries, and it's basically about, like Sammy the Bull got all that attention for that bullshit video, and he got probably all the attention, and here he is, not only was he, killing his own friends and stuff, but
Right.
then he told on all of them at the same time,
Yeah.
like, yeah, what part of the
Crazy. It's just like backwards.
yeah, and then he started his podcast and stuff like that. And although some of it's interesting, it's just what he stands for is everything bad. You know what I mean? He played both
Right,
sides of the
right.
fence. You can't
And
do
it's
that. You can't.
ironic. It's ironic how the sheeple just flock to that type of shit. Just like that cocksucker 1090 fake, I call him. The fake blood. He was originally from Florida and now he's in Boston. This cocksucker got about 250,000 fucking subscribers, and he's the most fakest motherfucker you ever would like to know or not know. I mean, he's just some punk. He did a couple years in a fucking what they call in Florida jit camp. He was getting friendly extorted by the Bloods because his family obviously had a little bit of paper, and he fucking claims he's a Blood. He has like identity crisis. You know what I mean? Identity
Yeah,
crisis.
yeah.
Like like
So,
that other like the other freak with the fucking what do they call them wicks, the wicks hairstyle, and he
oh
talks like I think his name is Peanut or something.
right, yeah, right. So
Yeah.
what about what do they call them? I see a lot of attention now on the like the television BMF Black Mafia Family. Is there you know
Oh yeah, yeah. Big Meech and them. Yeah, Big Meech. He was always a gentleman, but it's a thing. His brother, Southwest T, was more of a intelligent businessman because he was under the radar. I don't know what got into Meech. he just wanted to be like, he's like, I would say, a African American version of what John Gotti did. Once he reached a certain level, he wanted to floss and let everybody know he was a celebrity superstar. I mean, come on, Stevie. They put up a freaking billboard in Atlanta. BMF, the world is ours, on the freeway. If that's not going to create heat, that was not a smart move. Are you kidding me? He thought he was invincible.
Yeah, and that's
He
how
thought
that's
he
how it
was
goes.
invincible.
Yeah, that's how they are in
And another,
Chicago.
say
Chicago
it
the
again,
same
brother.
way. Chicago the
Really?
same way. Yeah, that's why unfortunately a lot of people get killed and stuff because they start
Yeah.
flossing, thinking they're invincible, and these are young kids, man. Old black is,
Right.
So right there where the black is GDs and BDs. I know because I was when I got paroled in 2009, they put me
Right.
smack in the middle. They made me go to a halfway house. So I end up right
Right.
in the
Right.
middle. And me being white, I'm already a target, and then on top of it, these two guys are at war with each other, and you know,
Right.
just in 1 week that I was out on 79th and Exchange, right off of there, I forget which block it was, but it's a real rough area, the south side of Chicago, Inglewood, and they
Oh,
paroled me there.
Inglewood. Yeah, I heard Inglewood. Yeah, yeah, I heard
Yeah.
Inglewood.
So, this is where they start me off. I get released in 2009 on a 6-year bit. I did 2.5 off of the 6, and
Right.
I get out of 2009. The case was for aggravated fleeing and eluding the police in Cicero. And I took a cop plea real quick because I'm what they consider a habitual criminal because of amount of arrests and felonies that I accumulated. So that's another part of my story.
Right. Right.
For years and years, not that I was stupid or nothing like that, but I mean, I made bad choices, but I used to be harassed continually on a daily basis. So I would get arrested, get released, picked up, arrested, and they would just rack up charges and charges. And, like I said, my sister-in-law is a clerk in a courthouse. So, after, I got legit and stuff, I had to get my rap sheet. And as she was getting my rap sheet, it was unusual because there's not very many people with as many arrests. I have like over 300 arrests and like 15, 20 felonies. And that's a huge part. It shows the reason why it shows a history of the police harassing me for years and years.
Right. Right.
I wasn't innocent, but at the same time, a person that had that many arrests should be doing like life in prison, because if it'll come out, eventually once I started on the documentary, my arrest record and exactly what the cases were, and like I said, I don't have
Yeah.
anything. I never worked with the police or nothing like that. So nothing like that is going
Yeah.
to come out. All my stuff was, solo dolo status. I did everything pretty much by myself, everything from, shooting to armed robberies, to just simple
Right.
petty thefts, stuff like that. That's what I was into,
Right.
basically, a little bit into the dope game and stuff like that, but
Right.
you know,
Right.
basically a lot of those arrests weren't even, warranted. There was just a lot of police harassment. Like I said, they killed my friend. And, it was stuff like that. I wasn't one of the guys, like a lot of the cops, when they see me today, they don't mess with me because I carry a team of lawyers and they know that if, they start to bother me, I'll, sue their asses. I
Right.
have some,
Right.
I have some of the best attorneys here in Chicago, uh,
Right.
and I
I've
just,
seen
and
that.
yeah, and I had to do it that way because, I didn't want to, because I really didn't have a chance in the streets after that. When I got out in 2009, it was either, even if I was doing good, I still had to be careful because a lot of these cops didn't like what I was about. They didn't want to see me out free in the streets. Of course, I married into a law enforcement family with my wife. So I had,
Right.
some people that weren't happy, but, luckily they, the lawyers and stuff deterred them. Plus, like I said, I got legit. I got a 9 to 5 job, start working. So there really wasn't much for them to do. And then, like I said, started having kids and laying low, so there was no need to mess with me anymore, and just like
Right.
everything kind of turned around for the better. Got presented with this opportunity to do a documentary, and I was like, I got to support my kids, just like when I was in the streets. You got to take care of yourself by any means necessary, and that's all I've been doing. And then just reaching out with guys like you, just having a conversation like we're having and stuff, and
Yeah.
people like that kind of content. They could feel us, guys that kind of been down the same road, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But
You know what?
I like everything. I like everything that you're about because you're exactly who you are. You were real high up in the game at one time, and you're just like me, just looking for that bone, right?
Right. Be on a straight and narrow,
Here's my wife.
positive, if
So
possible. You know
so
what's
this is
interesting though? Hi.
so this is
How
my
are
wife.
you?
How are you?
Nice to meet you. How are
Nice to
you?
meet you too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's my vet. She stood by me 2.5 years, and you know, I knew exactly what I wanted. Like I said, I wrote her pretty much every day, and she gave me a beautiful family. Got 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. And like I said, I live pretty simple these days. I just lay low. You know, I promote.
Simplicity. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm 43, and I'm not looking to sabotage or jeopardize my freedom. Have to be for something pretty serious, like somebody harming my family. Other than that,
Right.
I'm not going back to prison, man. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't like taking showers with men. So, I try to stay
No.
away from situations that could put me back in there. And I've been doing, like I said, I've
Right.
been doing pretty good. I got myself a good job. I'm in the union. I'm a Teamster. So I'm very secure. My wife is a
Right.
stay-at-home mom. My kids go to really good schools. So
Right.
I'm doing something right. So
Oh, for
whatever
sure.
so whatever Amy Sanchez has to say, I want to see what she has. You know, I want to see the
Yeah.
type of life that she has, since she's such a better person than me. Talking
Yeah.
about, she probably doesn't even own a car. Oh, she said I didn't have a
Right.
she said I didn't have a license either. But I can tell you right
That's
now, my
fine.
life, yeah, I got a license. And you know, anytime she
That's
wants to talk to
crazy.
me, we could talk. I don't beat up girls for nothing. So I would love to
Yeah,
have
you
a
should pull
conversation with
her up. Yeah, you should pull
you.
her
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
man. Don't be
yeah.
shy, Amy.
No, yeah, and I, I just, I don't like that type of stuff. I don't know what's on her agenda or why she even said that, because
Right.
really, like I said, I've never had any backlash of my podcast or anything that I'm doing or anything about. You know, uh,
Right.
might have something to do with, maybe she was related to the guy that got killed. You know,
Ah,
and that's
that's probably it too.
yeah, and so in that situation, it was when my buddy got killed, he was one of my closest friends, and the police pulled up in the scene. Uh, it was a drug transaction. So when they pulled up, I had a warrant for my arrest. I ran in opposite direction, of course, because I had a
Right.
warrant. He took off with another guy in another direction, and in the gangways, you know, he was jumping a fence and he was shot in the back. Supposedly, I wasn't there, but like I said, I took off running. My dad picked me up at some tavern over there, put me on a plane right away because the homicide detectives came to my house. My dad's telling me, wherever you're at, the cops are looking for you. So I'm thinking that these guys killed somebody, and the whole
Right.
time,
Right.
this guy was already dead. So like I wasn't there when it actually happened. But then I started seeing reports and newspaper stuff where they said that he had no gun and was shot in the back. The police officer is no longer on the force. Uh, he already had a grudge against me prior to this because we had gone to the same grammar school together. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we had some interaction, and I felt like maybe he had a grudge because now he's a cop and I'm in a gang, and we had a little bit of a beef about a week, 2 weeks
Oh, yeah,
back.
that's probably definitely it.
Yeah, yeah, it was. That's the truth. And I'm not saying he purposely killed the guy. I don't know. He's got to live with that, though. I know that my friend was killed and he didn't have a gun, so it doesn't look very good. And you know, it's just
Terrible.
yeah, it's shit like that. And
It's like
like I
a
said,
double standard, They, they could shoot anybody unarmed and this and that. and you touch one of them, whether they deserve it or not, and you got like 100 of them outside the hospital, like they're some kind of hero just because they got shot.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they shouldn't have been, harassing somebody, and they came across the wrong one and they shot the motherfucker. All the shit they've been getting away with for years, profiling people, beating people's ass before body cams, came out and stuff like that. A couple of them get touched and it's, oh my God, it's the end of the world, Blue Lives Matter, all that bullshit. But one thing I wanted to say, when you were saying how you used to get harassed and this and that with the cops and all that stuff, that's how I uh, became really interested in the guy GT from your city.
Yeah, I was checking that out a little bit. GT.
Yeah. Here's a good story, real quick, about it, and this is valid. I don't know why it's not on the internet anymore. Apparently, about 8 years ago, GT was in his 560 SEL, um, driving, and he always drives updated, everything right, correct, registration, this and that, blah, blah, blah. A cop that hated on him pulled him over, start harassing him, okay? Um, then he broke one of his tail lights with his billy club or baton or whatever. GT, according to the cop, proceeded to break both of his orbital bones, broke his nose, knocked out his teeth, broke his jaw, and broke 2 ribs, right? So he got charged with assault on a cop. The backup comes. He tuned both of them up too. 2 more broken jaws, I believe. But here's the interesting thing: when he went in front of the judge, he had such a fair judge. The judge put 2 and 2 together and dismissed the case because he peeped griminess within the cops. He actually believed GT's story and didn't, or GT's attorney's story, and say, "Listen, man, my client wouldn't have done that and this and that." Like, they lied on him, say he like put his hands on him for no reason, came out of the car aggressively with a pistol, and there was no pistol on him, and they got caught apparently throwing a 38 on him or something like that. But what's interesting is this cop that got assaulted, right? I forgot his name, and got all fucked up by GT. He put a blog on the internet saying, "Can you believe this guy was let free by I wish I would remember the judge's name, by Judge such and such. He broke both of my orbital bones. He broke my nose. He broke my jaw. I'll never be the same. This and that. This guy is a menace to society." He's just like totally bashing GT, and that's when I knew that this guy was someone I'd be interested in. You know what I mean? I used to have a social media account, and we linked up that way. He came to Detroit a couple of times and met at the boxing gym. That's how I met him. Originally through social media, I DM'd him and I said, "Hey," I said, "I seen that thing, what you did to that cop," and I said, "I have nothing but respect for you. We need more warriors like you that don't bow down to them." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
did some
got
back on
gangsters.
the guy lived a pretty rough life, man, and I never had heard of him. And like I said, most of my friends are in that lifestyle, with the Chicago outfit. So I know most of the top guys and some of the soldiers and associates and stuff like that. I never heard of the guy GT until you had told me about it, and then when I had looked it up and I asked my attorney about him and stuff, I found out some stuff. The guy had a hell of a history, a bunch of murders and stuff like that. And ironically, he's still free. So
Oh yeah,
we don't know where. A lot. I'm sure the cops probably threw a lot of bullshit at him that he didn't have. I mean, I don't know, but
for sure,
it's just
for sure.
the guy definitely went through a lot of shit. And usually you hear about guys like this. Although his stuff was probably like 20 years ago, about I think it was. Most of it was in the 90s, right?
Uh,
90s,
Actually,
maybe the early 2000s.
80s, 90s, and in the twos, like as recent as like 2012.
Oh yeah, so it's been a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
while and stuff, you know.
yeah. That's when
So,
he
so
tuned
he's
up the
probably
top of the traffic stop. 2012,
yeah,
I believe
yeah.
it
Well,
was. Yeah,
looks like he's doing pretty good from what I see, you know.
yeah,
So maybe
yeah.
he got on board with some shit and got himself going somewhere, which is that's pretty much how a lot of guys go. Like when I was in prison, I used to know how to hustle. Like I could, hustle pills, all kinds of shit. I had a hustle for everything in the joint. Anything
And
I
let's
needed, I
not
could get it.
forget,
And
yeah, let's not forget, Stevie, that at one time he was a legitimate professional boxer, and he killed two people in the ring. Two
yeah,
people,
I did read that to it.
one in Detroit in 1999, and another one in Rockford, Illinois. I bet you your boy Bobby Hitz knows him.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. So I'm a real big fan of Bobby Hitz. I love to attend his fights. He's got some incredible boxing matches and just stuff like that. I like promoting guys like him. Uh,
Right.
I got a lot of my
Shit, he
friends
fought
in the
George
restaurant
Foreman.
business. Yeah,
He
yeah,
fought
he's a
Big
legend.
George.
Yep,
How many
yep.
people
Shout
could
out
say
to Bobby.
that?
He
You
was a
know?
professional football player. Yeah, Bobby Hitz is a hell of a man. Shout out to him. I got another friend. I got a few friends that are boxers. My guy Fly from Chicago. He's from Italian neighborhood. He's a Mexican guy, but he was
Right, right.
champion fighter. I got my other. He's a legend, Luke Capiano. Shout out to
That
Lukey.
sounds
He's an old school
familiar.
Italian. So
Sounds
Luke
familiar.
Capiano. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but he's a big supporter of mine. Him and his wife Jenny, and
Right.
these are are old school Italians from the old neighborhood. And Luke Capiano, he actually had an exhibition match against Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
And it's on
really?
YouTube. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he's got a lot of, and he's a hell of a guy. I got a lot of guys in the neighborhood, and guys like him that they pushed me. They wanted to see me succeed, and if it wasn't for people like that, I probably would have still been in the streets and been like nobody. But once I got out of the joint in 2009, I had made my bones in the street, and I got opportunities to work at a legit job. And of course, when I first started out, like I said, for the first 3-4 years, I was slinging cocaine, and it was like
Right.
on a large scale. But
Right.
luckily, but at that time, my wife was pregnant. I just got out of prison. I wasn't sure what direction I was going to go, and
Right. Right.
it wasn't too long. It wasn't too long after that I fell back because, like I said, my son was about to be born, and my wife wasn't working, and I had to choose. Like, okay, now if I get caught, I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to lose this. I'm not going to have this what I got, and I wasn't willing to jeopardize that. So I laid it down then, and actually right after I did that, I got fired from my job, because they got wind of what I was doing because it was real obvious. I was driving a fucking beautiful car, I was getting flashy, and I ended up getting another job at a better company where I work now and making great money. I didn't have to fall back in drugs and stuff, and it was good because it got me away from that. And then, like I said, I started going up from there, because like I was still connected to the guys in the street, but like at a distance, I had the respect and stuff like that, and everybody kind of just pushed me forward because I had been through so much already. I feel for me, my neighborhood means a lot because, like I said, I used to fight in the street. I bled in the street. I had a lot of my homies that died out there. So to me, my neighborhood was really very, very sacred. And
I respect that a lot. I respect that a lot. More people need to be like that. There's a guy like that down here who passed away a couple years ago. They called him Frank the Bomb Bomberito, but he had the same morals and principles just like you. Stayed in the old neighborhood. He didn't have to. Stayed in Roseville his whole life on the east side, and just like you, he held the neighborhood very sacred. And he was just a solid stand-up guy. None of the silver spoon West Side boys, like those West Side hats, we're gonna say, those West Side hats. You know what I mean? Them synagogue boys, you know?
Yeah.
Um, like that one author that thinks he's a gangster. The one, there's this one author. It's he thinks he's a gangster. He talks real recklessly. Um, text is, third party, talks ignorant stuff, and he's just a pathological liar. Total pathological liar. I
Yeah.
want him to pull up. I would love for him to pull up. I got something for him for real.
Yeah.
And he ought to stick to writing books because you
Mhm.
know bad things can happen. You don't want to put your people in jeopardy. He's a scumbag because he could be putting his wife in danger because of his fucking mouth, his reckless mouth. And, he's just a scumbag. He needs to stick to writing books. He's a keyboard warrior,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon because I got some other stuff that I got to do. But I'd like to have
Right,
you come
right.
back on the show. We'll do a little more structure. I'm
Yeah.
just new to this podcast stuff, but I got a good little audience that's slowly building, and people like my content. They like the guys that I have on this show. So it's
Right.
different parts, different stories is really interesting, and I look forward to hooking up and doing more stuff with you, and we'll
Yeah,
just take it from
definitely.
there, see where it goes.
I'd
You
like to
know,
make one
I
comment
think
before we close. If anybody's
yeah,
curious about my mask, okay, first of all, it's COVID. You never know where I'm at. I might be in a trap house overlooking some YGs. I might be at a halfway house. But furthermore, if you look up Sacra Corona Unita, it's protocol for any type of interview for any member, one through third tier, to where at least make an effort to halfway be discreet and not disrespect the family, so to speak. I'm not hiding from
yeah,
anybody, but I might be. I might be hiding from that tough author who apparently thinks he's a tough guy. That yeah, I might be hiding from him, Stevie, because I'm real timid.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Nah.
want I don't want to get beat up. I don't want to get beat up by the fucking Yamaka wearing author. I don't want to get beat up by him, because he's pumping them steroids, and apparently that could make him fight better. I guess he thinks that's going to make him fight better. But I'm
Yeah,
scared. I'm that's why I'm really wearing a mask, because I'm scared and timid. That's why.
yeah. Nah, so I think we're gonna do a lot of stuff. I got some more podcasts. I'm gonna do, and I'm slowly gonna start. Getting more professional at it. I was talking to the producers about it, and
You do good,
this is just like a
man.
little bit.
No, you are professional.
Yeah,
I think you're very professional.
yeah. No, I mean, like I said, a lot of people like what I'm doing. I got more people that like what I'm doing. Uh, like I said, it just tells you a lot when you don't get a lot of backlash and trolls. Like you've seen. Shout out to Stacks. Stacks was one of the guys that I
Oh
hooked
yeah,
up with
shout
that I
out to
like some.
Stack. Solid guy. I love
Yeah,
that guy. He's a great guy.
yeah. So if anybody's interested, you got my guy Stacks called Chatting with Stacks on YouTube. He's got a lot of mob content. He's got a whole bunch of stuff. He's been doing some really good podcasts, and like I said, I work with guys like him. In different states, and like I said, I had one of my guys that was incarcerated in another state, and Stacks hooked up with them, and it's just getting slowly building the network and stuff. I got a little
Mm,
army going behind me. I
that's
got some
right.
guys in New York that I've been dealing with. I got guys down in Florida, and these are real hitters. These are no
Yeah, for
punks.
sure.
I
Mm,
always do a background on everybody,
right,
so I get a little history about what they're on to make sure it ain't no bullshit. And
right,
I got no
right.
time for these little. I don't mess with no little fish. I know who the big
Exactly,
fish are, and
exactly.
I can I can tell right away, who is who, and that's
Right.
basically that's part of my success. is once I got out of the joint, I didn't have time for no, bullshit. I wanted to get money. I wanted to get paid. I was tired of living, without money and stuff. Now I got plenty. There's
Right,
no,
right.
I'm not rich. I'm not rich or nothing. But like I said, I live the way I want, do whatever I want. I travel.
Yeah,
My wife doesn't work. I live in a
yeah.
beautiful house. I got two
But you
vehicles
know
that I
what,
own.
Stevie? Think about this. You really are rich. You are rich because money isn't the only thing that makes you rich. Your family makes you
Exactly.
rich. Your code of honor makes you rich. Your positivity makes you rich. Your potential makes you rich. And just the person you are makes you rich by having a solid character with integrity.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You know
yeah, for
what? That's why
sure.
I so I tell a lot of people, man, instead of doing 100 years in prison and sitting in a jail cell, I got blessed with a wife and three kids. And,
You sure did.
I hit, and to me, like I said, I pursued my wife. I knew what I wanted back then because I was about in my 30s, and, my life was in and out of jail. At that time, I wasn't a millionaire or nothing like that. So, uh, I just made a big change then. It took me a little longer than most people, but then I got it. And then when I did, you know, I'm very successful now. I
Right.
got respect in the streets. Like I said, I got some friends. I married into a law enforcement family, so I got some friends that are cops. I mean, I don't deal with them like that, but we
Right,
respect
right.
each other. No, and it's a true story. We respect each other. There's a few cops that don't care for me and stuff, because obviously there's some bad history and there's some dirt on them, and they feel there's a lot of guilt on them. I mean, I don't expose them, because I'm not a good
Right,
piece of shit. Even though I
right.
should, I just don't. I'm not a low piece of shit
Yeah,
like that. I like you said, I
exactly.
got some honor, and
Right.
no, but everything's going good. The
And you
opportunities
know
are
what?
just going
You
to keep
paid
coming.
your dues. You deserve it to be going good and to keep getting better. You deserve it. You know what I mean? Guys like you
Thank you. Yeah,
deserve it. You're self
well,
made.
that's exactly how I feel, and that's what I tell them because like sometimes you'll have some people come up with some questions about stuff and what I'm talking about. But listen, I don't talk about anybody else. I stick to my own shit. I got enough of my own
Mhm.
stories that I don't need somebody else, and I don't even have to implicate them in my stories because
Right.
I just have so much that it's just that's just the way I've been doing it and stuff. But yeah, I've had people that were like fishing to see exactly what I was doing, and I told them, the door's open. You want to see what I'm about, what I'm doing. I welcome the opportunity for somebody to dispute anything that I say on social media. Like I said, Amy Sanchez is number one. That's one person I would love to
Right.
meet one on one face, and not I don't want to do nothing to the girl. It's no physical harm. I just would like to have a conversation with her about the stuff that she said about me. Uh,
Right.
I want to see exactly where this is coming from because, I don't know if she's a stalker or she's super jealous of my
Right.
lifestyle. The fact that I was nothing before, according to her, and now I'm somebody. But, I welcome that, and
Right.
other than that troll, I haven't had any other trolls, and
Right.
things are going great and they're only going to get better. We got my documentary coming out shortly. I just, did a little filming. I starred in the Deadly Associates film about Joey Seaford and his father getting killed by the Chicago outfit. And, it was great for
Oh
me
wow.
because I'm on the other end. Yeah, I mean, it's a true story. Nobody has a problem with it because the guys that are involved are already gone, dead. I'm
Right.
friends with one of the accused. I'm friends with one of the accused persons in there, the brother. So, like, the spectrum. Joey Seifert is a victim, and his family are victims. And me on the other hand, I was on the other end of the spectrum, like I said, and they were just interested in me because, like they said, you know, why do they call you Stevie Bullets? Maybe it's because but whatever. It doesn't really matter why they call me Stevie Bullets, right? Because I
Right.
don't, I
Exactly.
could tell you, I could tell you anything, and You know, whether or not you believe it, it's up to you. But
That's
the
right.
simple fact of the matter, the simple matter of the fact is, they call me Stevie Bullets, and that's my name. So
That's right.
it is
Hey,
it is what it is.
the bullets could be either be coming from the knuckles or they could be coming from that Draco.
Yeah, either way,
Either
uh,
way.
I've always been in the streets my entire life, so I fear nobody.
That's
I made
right.
it this long that after this it doesn't matter.
That's
Like
right.
my guy said, so my buddy Cyril DePaggio, and this stuck in my head the other day because he said it perfect. He said every day is a win, and when I thought about that, I was like, you're right. You know what? Every day up above ground, and there's a win, right?
Yeah, every day
Every
above
day
ground, out of the hospital, and free.
out,
Yep, definitely.
and some people they don't, But
They
yeah,
don't
I'm gonna
get
wrap
it.
it up, man, because I got to do the family thing, and I got to do
All
a little bit
right,
of running
brother.
around. Look forward to doing another show. I want to thank you and everybody that's watching. Hit the
Definitely.
like and subscribe button, and check my guy Bolo out, man. It's a great story. All right, with that,
Two,
I'll see you
two
guys
things
next
I'd
time.
like to say. Two things I'd like to say to your audience before we leave is check out a little research on two things: Sacra Corona Unita and Lastida. You guys will be very intrigued by what you read about that. You very few people know about it, and it's like kind of secret LCN offshoots. You guys will like that.
Yeah, very, very, very real stuff, and
Yeah.
you
And
know,
I got my
just
soulmate
hey,
Renee over here. All right, brother.
and what, and you got that thing on YouTube too, right? One of your fights that you had, the bare knuckle fights.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
people to know that
Yeah, there
you're
used to
all
be
about
like
that business.
five. Yeah, and I want all the smoke. Respectfully. I like fighting. I prefer bare knuckle. Um, I'm supposed to be getting a BKFC sanctioned fight here pretty soon in the BKFC. That's that organization that Steven Feldman runs out of Philly. It's really blowing up. They have pay-per-views and everything, and I'm looking forward to getting a fight probably here in the next couple of months. Yeah, I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really up with that bare knuckle fighting. I like the raw
yep,
stuff. I'm a, I'm
yeah,
not in shape to be doing all that stuff, but I wish I was. But
right.
to me, I think that's entertainment, and I'd rather see guys go hands on than pull out a gun and stuff. You get more
Yeah,
respect and stuff that way.
yeah. There's a
So I
time and
definitely, as soon
place.
as I heard, yeah,
Yeah,
I got a
there's a
buddy. He
time
was a
and
champ.
place for
He
the
was,
pistola.
yeah,
And there's a
yeah,
time and
right.
place for the knuckles.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But with that, till next time, I'm out of here, brother.
All right, Stevie. You have a great one, and you have a blessed night, brother.
All right, man. You too. I'll give you a call in a little bit or something.
All right,
We'll
salute.
hit base.